with Tamia Dow. How's it going?
I am so excited to be here, Trixie. I'm excited to talk and chat and catch up and talk all things Cannes in the future. So this is awesome.
Yeah. So we are both back from the Cannes. So how was your trip out in Cannes? What were the fabulous movies that you watched? First, tell me about that.
That is so funny that you would ask about movies because my producer partners and I were mostly trying to get red carpets. We weren't really focused on the movies that we were going to. So we actually went to, I saw, which was probably the best one I really enjoyed. I mean, besides, of course, Top Gun. Top Gun was amazing. But what was it called? In English, it's Cut, C-U-T, Cut, but it was, of course, in French with subtitles, and it was, I want to say croquet or something like that was the word for cut. That was the very first movie I saw there. I actually met one of the executive producers of the show on the plane on my way to Cannes, so I was very excited to see that. I was really excited that I actually got the tickets to go see that, because as you remember, getting tickets was like the most difficult thing in the whole place.
Yes, the computer. I think we broke the internet out there because
we broke it several times.
Several times. It was hard to get through the access, the portals and everything. But what a spectacular time we had. You know, I watched several movies myself, and even watching it with the subtitles, I was still not only amused, but I was able to understand and follow everything. It was really good. And there was no bad time at all. What were some of the other network events that you might have attended while you were out there?
Well, the whole setup of Cannes is really amazing. It was my first time at Cannes, so I was really excited to explore. And they have these pavilions from different countries around that go around the perimeter of the actually palace, which is the main place there that has the marché, which the marché is where you go and actually see a bunch of vendors set up. You have people who are producers and distributors, you know, looking for your films, looking for your finished projects, looking for your working projects. There were so many opportunities in the marché to do there. And then within the pavilions were throwing parties, inviting you to come in and find out what it would be like to film in India, you know, what it would be like to film in Africa, and how India or the African pavilion or the Greek pavilion or the American pavilion or the USA film pavilion. I mean, there was so many pavilion opportunities to go to that I would just imagine, because of course I didn't get to everything. You just cannot get to everything. And you have to kind of map out a priority and a strategy as to what your goal is for Cannes. You know, is your goal to go see movies? And there were some people who, you know, like you started it off by going, what movies did you see? To be honest with you, I didn't see as many movies as I probably would have liked to, but I had to focus on why was I there? You know, so my goal with so many products and projects that I have was to get connected with some distributors and get connected with some, you know, possible producers or people who could fund my films and my projects. So being inside a movie for 2 hours didn't necessarily move that agenda for me. So you have to be kind of mindful of, why am I going to Cannes? What is my goal?
Yes, you know, and you mentioned something really intriguing about your films. Tell me about some of the projects that you were promoting out there. Tell me that one film I can't remember the title. Tell me that title again.
So the main film I was promoting while I was out there was called The Adventures of Lexi Zara. So it's Lexi Zara's The Adventures Began. It's actually in film festivals right now. And it was actually created out of a film festival.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I went to the Cyprus International Film Festival. So traveling international for film festivals is not new for me.
Okay.
I actually enjoy traveling internationally for film festivals when my films are in it, of course. And I was in Barcelona's film festival last year and have been accepted back with the Lexi Zara project to the Barcelona Film Festival this year. While we were in Cannes, I actually had the opportunity to go to the Nice International Film Festival, which was right down the street from us while we were in Cannes. So going to international film festivals for me as a professional filmmaker is really important to get connected and to get your film streamed and to actually get them seen internationally. Now, what's so cool about the Lexi Zara adventure, back to how I was telling you was created out of a film festival, was that I was at the Cyprus International Film Festival last year in November. And when I arrived to the film festival, every person I met, their name was Andreas. I mean, the guy at the airport that greeted me, my taxi driver that drove me to the hotel, the front desk clerk who waited on me, the guy at the bus station when I went to get the little bus trip, Andreas, right? So I was like, I know you're laughing. I was like, is everybody here named Andreas? You know, I was like, what is going on, right? So they kind of said, Andreas in Cyprus is like John, like in the John. US. It's a very common name, So we built a whole story around that. We literally, two other filmmakers that were there at the Cyprus Film Festival, we chatted. I asked them that question, is everybody here named Andreas? I met all these people, da-da-da-da. And I said, you know what? What if we wrote a story as to why this American woman met all of these men with the same name in an international country, right?
Yes.
And hence we created Lexi Zara. And Lexi Zara was is an American-born character, which is me. I play the character Lexi Zara. And she finds out, because she never knew she was half Greek. She didn't know it. Her mother never told her who her father was.
Oh, wow.
And she was raised by a stepdad who she just saw as her father. So it wasn't until her stepfather on his dying bed told her to go to Cyprus. And she was like, well, she called him daddy because, he raised her. Yeah. He knew I always wanted to go to Cyprus or, go to the Greek Isles. And he told me to go to Cyprus, so I better go. So when she gets there, after we see all these people named Andreas, and she's trying to figure out what the meaning of it is, the front desk clerk, which reminding you was another Andreas, said to her, you look just like your father.
Uh-oh.
And she's looking at him like, what do you mean I look like my father? I've never met my father, because her mother refused to tell her who her father was, because it turns out her father was a Greek-born citizen that was married to her mother, and her mother is a Black American. She was married. They were married in the 1970s, and in the 1970s, it was in many states of this country, it was outlawed for a Black and a white to marry. Wow. So she thought that he had ran off and left her, because the last thing she knew about him was he was going to Cyprus. He was an archaeologist, that he was going to Cyprus. He left 1 week before Lexi was born, and she never saw him again.
Oh, no. Is this a true story? Or no, kind of.
Oh, we created it. Right?
Wow.
So, yes,
it sounds like so amusing. I want to watch. How can the viewers and myself, how can we watch this film?
Well, we have trailers. So we actually have a YouTube channel for the Adventures of Lexi Zara. So the YouTube channel is called The Adventures of Lexi Zara. And on that channel, we show different clips. We're going to show clips of her as she discovers and starts to look for her father. Because the thing about the mom not seeing the father from like when he went to Cyprus is none of his family. So all of his Greek relatives, brothers and sisters, mother, no one ever heard from him after he went to Cyprus. He disappeared off the face of the earth.
Oh my goodness. This sounds so intriguing. I can't wait to see it. You live in Vegas as well. Did you film any of this in Vegas? Or we
will be filming in Vegas because the character Lexi is from Vegas.
It's from Vegas.
Yes, the character's mother is here. Her immediate family is here. All those people who knew her and she knew herself as a Black American.
Okay.
You know, she considered herself a Black American, and now she's discovered that she's also half Greek, half Caucasian. So the story is going to be about the adventure is about her discovering her new identity now, because she's finding out that she's got relatives in Greece, you know, and actually probably I haven't put a character in, but I just thought about it when I said it, is we're going to have her have a relative here, because, you know, so many Greeks come over here too, to the U.S. So we'll probably connect her with a relative that's here in the U.S. too. But we are going to be filming in Vegas, and then we're going to be filming also in Greece. And when she goes to Greece, it's when she meets her relatives.
Wow, that sounds so amazing. I can't wait. Well, I also know what is behind you. What is the chaplain all about?
Well, yeah, I am actually an ordained minister. I've been ordained, since 2006. So, wow, 17 years?
17 years. Woo. Hey, time flies. It really does.
Yeah, it really does. I've always been a good little Christian girl anyways, all my life. And even in the time, so my background and my history is I actually was in the military, so the U.S. Army here in the U.S. And then after I did my military service, I joined the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and I was a police officer and detective for them until 2012 when I retired. When I retired out as a domestic violence detective. I had been working that specialty for 8 years. And here's the thing, and I don't mind telling my age. I did have issues with it before, but I don't, because this is literally like a third career doing filmmaking, and I'm pretty successful in all my careers. So I don't mind crowing about it, right? So 10 years ago, I retired at 45, which is super young to retire. Okay.
Yeah.
And I retired with a criminal justice degree, amazingly training and all of the stuff that the police department had put me through to educate me in the area of domestic violence, sex trafficking, stalking, things related to issues dealing with actually the vulnerable, and people being abused and targeted by other people. And I thought, 45, I said to the Lord, I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I have a lot of education. I'm 45 years old. I mean, I could go sit on the beach and drink Mai Tais and brag about the fact that I'm 45 years old and fully retired and collecting a check every month. Or I could do what you would have me do with all of this education and knowledge and ideas and things that you've given me. So what I ended up doing was I went around the world, literally, doing public speaking engagements, talking about sex trafficking, domestic violence, violence against women, those kind of issues. I spoke in London and Curacao and Trinidad and just all over the place. And in fact, a side note, I'm actually going to be back in Curacao for the third time to actually do a showcase of all of my films on June the 28th. So if anybody's in or around Curacao, June the 28th of this month, you can come and check out the showcase where I will actually show my films, talk about the stories behind the films and the victims in the films. And bear in mind, these are dramas, okay?
Yes.
And the reason why I'm kind of giving you this background on these stories is because Lexi Zara is a fun adventure.
Yes. I like fun stuff.
Yes. And the other stuff is kind of heavy. You're dealing with, violence and how, of course, there's always the victory. The arc is always something happens, the person does something, and then there's a victory. So there's always a victory in my stories and education in my stories as to how other people could get themselves out of similar situations if they happen to be in it, or how someone who's a family member or a loved one could help get them out of those situations. So I told you that background to let you know that I did use and have used and continue to use all of that knowledge, skills, and abilities, the training that I was given while I was in law enforcement to educate and empower people, and help them get justice. So I do socially conscious films. And then, of course, like I said, I'm a minister, so I can speak and do speak life, basically, into people and talk to them about their God planned life, because we all know that there is a perfect life orchestrated for us that is in alignment with the desires of our heart. Yet sometimes we don't focus on what we need to focus on to ensure that we live that life. Instead, we focus more on the negative, the day-to-day, the stuff that's not getting us where our heart desires to go. So that's, of course, explains why I know you we were talking about emails today.
Yes.
And you had the email for me for coach. And I do, as a chaplain, and it's not just spiritual, religious coaching. I do overall coaching. I help people write their stories. I help people tell their stories. And then, of course, as you know, I tell the stories and I also write the stories. So I'm going to, you asked about what's behind me. So I will go over that because that tells you even a little bit more about myself. So right behind me over my shoulder, I told you I retired in 2012. Traveled the world, did public speaking, did all this stuff. And then I felt the Lord. Well, let me tell you what happened. I'll tell you what actually happened to trigger it. #MeToo.
Uh-oh.
So when that happened, when we had women talking about the casting couch, we had women talking about directors asking them and requiring them to do certain sexual acts or things that made them uncomfortable on the casting couch. One of the actors, and I have to, someday the Lord's going to bring this video back to me so I can see it, because it was either like an Academy Awards show or something like that. And it was a male actor. He was a young person, but I just can't remember who it was. Anyways, he said that this wouldn't happen if there were more female directors.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, so I don't know, because there are some females that are aggressive as well and can do just the same thing as the guys can too, though.
This is true. This is true because it's just like, I come from law enforcement, and there's bad apples in law enforcement, but the vast majority are good. You know what I'm saying? 99% of the officers are good.
I like to play devil's advocate.
Right. No, and I hear that, but I look at it like this. When you look at the representation, even at Cannes, they spoke about it. Women are still underrepresented in the director and producer roles worldwide. So for me, I'm always stepping up. If you look at what I just explained to you in the way of my resume, I'm always taking on male-dominated professions. I went into the military, I went into the police, I'm in the chaplaincy as ministers. And for the most part, all of those are male-dominated environments, and the Lord has placed me there. And in each one of the environments, I'm excelling. So also in filmmaking, behind my shoulders, you will see.
Well, speaking of worldwide and amazing women, I've got to hear about the Viola Davis interview that's coming up for you. Can you speak about that?
Okay, so I am on my way to this conference called the Produce By Conference. And so you have to be a producer. And here's what constitutes a producer and why I've been so blessed to be able to be that for many projects. I've produced over 11 projects successfully, put them together, gathered the funding for them, put together the cast and crew, got the films completed, and the films have been sent to film festivals and different arenas, shown in showcases around the world. So that classifies me as an official producer, meaning not somebody who says it and says, "Oh, I'm a producer." Or what have you produced? Nothing. Right? Nothing, yeah. You can go to my IMDb and see that I got projects in the works and projects in the can, meaning that they're done. So yes. And as a producer, I am part of the Producers Produced By, and it's a conference that comes. It usually was every year, but now because COVID, it didn't go for 2 years. So we're all back together excitedly this year, and we're going to be at Fox Studios. But our key speaker for the event is Viola Davis. And I'm so excited to see that because I didn't see that she was the guest speaker until I returned from Cannes, because I had already, signed up for the Produced By conference, but I didn't know who our speakers were going to be. And when I saw that, so that magazine I just showed you was a featured magazine in Cannes. And I tell you what, when it comes to collecting things, I collect magazines. And I picked that one up at Cannes. I thought it was all in French, but it's not actually. They have it. I was looking at it today. They have it in English and French. You know, but I was just so excited to see her on the cover, you know, and I have a very exciting question to ask her. I'm not going to ask it here because I want to ask it at the event to her personally so I can know. But it was something that she did and has done as a, you know, producer director and as a Black woman that she did that when she did it, I was like, oh, I cannot believe she did that. But it was truly a breakthrough for Black women, not just in film, but Black women altogether. So I put that teaser out there, so you guys will have to reach out.
Oh, can't wait.
What question I'm going to ask her?
Yes, I know. I'm excited for you. I just love Viola Davis. I really love some of the movies she's been in, and she's always presented her character very well. So good luck to you on that interview, and lots of not luck, because you need it. You need it. You already have that, you know, gift to talk. So I know you've got this, you know, wrapped, you know, you're going to do awesome. So one more time for the viewers at home, how can they find you online so they can keep up with all your amazing projects?
Well, okay, so you can find me online. I'm on IMDb, so imdb.me, and put in Tamia Dow, and you'll find me. It's TAMIADOW, so imdb.me/Tamia Dow. Or you can go to Linktree, and that's linktr.ee/Tamia Dow. You can find out more about me. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Tamia_Dow. And you can also find me at Tamia Dow TV online on YouTube, where I actually have a whole series of videos talking about my time in Cannes and the adventures that I have in Cannes. But you know what, Trixie, can I talk about how I ended up getting to Cannes?
Yes, I was just about to say, can you leave it with something about Cannes so the viewers at home can know what's going on? Any advice for them? Maybe some may choose to go for their first time next year. You got the center stage, so go for it, girl.
Awesome, thank you. So I have this is a coveted badge here to get. This is a producer's badge, okay? Producer's badge is like almost all access. You can go to the market, you can get movies, you get invited to different events because you are classified as a producer. I mean, it is an amazing coveted badge, and you can't just get it by just saying, I'm going to apply for it. Here's the thing. I want to rephrase that. You can apply for it, but your work has to warrant you as a producer. Okay.
Exactly.
So,
yes, ma'am.
Right. So anybody can apply.
Anybody can apply, but they may get rejected.
Exactly. So I was really blessed to get an invitation from, there's a group of us, we call ourselves the Worldwide Producer Club. We're from Spain, Barcelona. We're from Nicaragua, Granada. We're from Miami. And we're from, I'm trying to think where the other places is blowing my, Cyprus. Yeah, from Cyprus. And we consider ourselves international producers because the vast majority is put on film festivals and showcases like myself, you know, so we're actually doing the work and showcasing the film and promoting other people. So we all got together. I got an invitation from Darwin Reyna, who is he is the festival director for the Love and Hope International, which is in Barcelona, which is still accepting applications September 6th through 10th in Barcelona. And he's also the festival director for the North Film Festival, which is in Stockholm, Sweden. But the thing is, I met him here in Vegas. I met him at a Indie-Wise conference that was put on by another one of the producers that was there with us this time. And his name is Jarrett Knowles. Mm-hmm. All of us have been friends for over 5 years. We travel the world literally together. We're going to be making a film in Nicaragua in October. You know, we did filming while we were in Cannes. So I just really blessed to be involved. And here's what I want to give in the way of advice to people who want to come to Cannes. Number one, know what you're looking for. Kind of like one of the first things I said when we were talking at the beginning of our conversation is know why you're going. What are you looking for? There's so much stuff going on there. Yes. Are you going just to watch movies? Are you going to pitch some projects? Are you going to look for a distributor for an existing feature film or something that you've already created? What is your goal? If you're just going to just go have fun, then go and have fun by all means. And it should be built into anything else that you're planning on doing while you're there. But I would say, please map out a plan. Don't just show up.
Yes, exactly. There's so much to see and do. It's so fun.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's a great tip for the viewers at home. And I hope you guys follow Tamia Dow and give her a like and check out her projects.
Awesome. And behind me, so this right here, let me see if I can figure out how to do the hand things. Yeah. So this was the official poster for Cannes. That's right there behind me. And then I told you I write books. So my book is back there. It's called In Celebration of You. It actually helps people write their own books. So In Celebration of You by Tamia Dow is on Amazon. This was when I very first made my very first film, this thing right back here.
And this was somewhere.
Right. This was an award that I won as Best New Voice, which of course was totally inspirational. As soon as you win an award for anything that you've done, it just inspires you to do more and more and more and more. This was Lexi Zara's first win. You guys can't see it, but it was at the Golden State Film Festival in March on Hollywood Boulevard at the TCL Chinese Theater. And Lexi Zara, The Adventures Began, got its first win, and we continue to wrap in those festival wins. And then I have some Best Director and Best Actress and stuff back here, too. But anyway, so the thing is, this is my office. I've brought you guys into my office. I'm super excited for you to be here. Here's the thing I want to say to everyone is go for it, you guys. If you have a dream to be a filmmaker, go for it. Get together with a team. Figure out how to make it happen. Talk to your local film commission. They're going to have some advice for you too, but just do it. Don't let anything stop you. Finances, any of that stuff. I've self-funded every single one of my projects. It's worth it.
Woo! Signing off. Y'all check out Tamia Dow. Thank you guys.
Bye, you guys.